Welcome, welcome. This video is hopefully going to be short and is going to show us how to get this 3D map called the 3D Temple Secret and allow a central mirror here to spin around while our players click this wheel, hit these various mirrors, and when they do so, the path lights up, the door opens on an animation, and then when the central beam goes off of it, it would essentially turn off. So you could use the map just like this, and it will function. These doors, when activated manually, if the light is not on them, they will not function. So you could set that up for your players to click on if they're used to clicking doors. This is a big button that will turn off all the lights that don't need to be on, so anytime that the mirror isn't set to one of them. But again, if you didn't want to set up that central piece, you have your basic map with the animated doors. This manual mirror here will turn off all those lights. And even if the players don't figure out this piece to light up the central and they spin that wheel, even the unlit beam hitting these will not activate things. It has to be lit up, and these doors won't open unless they are lit up. So up to you what you decide comes out of those doors. We do have this large black box element. Just move it out of the way, and we have some type of boss battle or scene for that. The first thing we're going to do is make sure that we have two important modules in order to do this. We are looking for token attacher, which works very well. BaileyWiki's got some videos on that. We also need a select tool everywhere. This will help us attach the lights to the actor that we're going to create. So Canvas with all of its dependencies, Monk's active token tile triggers, tagger, token attacher, and select tool everywhere. So we're going to go to Browse Community Maps, and we're going to type in temple to find the 3D temple by me. We download that, imported scene. We come up here. I have my old temple, but we're going to go from the one. Well, I'll go ahead and activate it. And this is what you get from the shared map as of my latest update. Again, you can use it just like this, triggering these mirrors on their own. This one lights up that path. You can just click on the individual mirror to light up a door. It opens, and use this invisible to the players button to close things. So feel free to use it that way. But we want to get fancy with a interactive wheel over here that is lit up when they light up that first mirror. So the first thing we're going to do is create a mirror light. So I'm just going to delete this so we could do it from scratch. Create actor, NPC, mirror, light, bada boom, bada bing. Doesn't matter. We're going to come into here, drop them in, and we got this little thing. Now I want this essentially, for when I tested this out, we might have to fiddle with it, but oops, we are going to stick it right around here somewhere, knowing that we're going to have to fiddle with it. What I needed to do for this when I tested this out is turn off this mirror. This is just a toggle one, whereas many of them are not. And then we're going to select, with making sure that we have the modules that we need enabled, token attacher. We select this piece, and we're going to click the little chain here for opening the token attacher UI. We're going to start attaching stuff. We want this central mirror just because that is what the players will see rotate. We want this piece here to rotate with it, and then we also want, this is where select tool everywhere comes in, we want these lights. So click on each light, and it says selected objects. We'll test this theory shortly. We'll we'll see if grabbing the mirror now rotates. And we can turn on those lights to see if the lights have come with it. Great. Bada boom, bada bing. Now, I'm going to turn off the lights. We're just going to do this one step at a time because I want to make sure that this whole beam lights up when that first mirror is hit, as it should. Yes, and then toggles off. Great, and that should work even if we have our token rotated. The lights should follow it. So we're going to have the lights off, and what I've hoped I've done is set this token to be rotation 0. So we want it to be 0 when we set it up, because everything depends on that rotation. There are ways to change it, but we're trying to do the least amount of effort. So now we have to check our rotating tile here. We're going to go into the triggers from Matt. I've got this on active. When they click it 100%, it's going to do this. If you want to get into Matt logic, feel free to check this out. But basically, we're going to change a few things because the way that 3DCanvas community maps uploads loses some of this information. So we're going to start at the top with rotating this guy. So we need to reconnect what we're rotating. So we're going to click on Entity, Person, and find our mirror light. So that is what we're moving. Then we're going to find this beam. Is it hidden? And if it's lit up, we're going to check mirror 1. Is this, again, we have to click the icon or the token that we're looking for, which is the mirror light. If that's at 50 degrees rotation, we could trigger that tile. If, again, so these are, if current tokens, tiles are fine, but it's the rotation piece. So everything connected to this central piece that does not cross over. So that was our 130. If it's at 130, move down. Current tokens is okay. Tiles are okay. Rotation again. Select entity, mirror light. I have to control click off of it when I do that, but that's okay. We got another 225 here for rotation. Just connecting mirror light. And you see it changes. Find mirror light. Find mirror light. Tiles still have their IDs. Okay, that looks good. Let's test this out. I think that's all I had to do. We'll see how successful I was. So we'll start by, remember that it doesn't matter how much you rotate it. If this isn't lit up, then nothing happens, hopefully. Okay, we come over here to our wheel. Click, we got a nice rotation. So who knows what your players are doing in that time, but once they hit here, and they could just click away on it, that lights up, that door opens up. Beautiful. We come back to the wheel, it turns, that light stops. Now, one of the things that I had to do, and you'll probably have to do, is sort of fiddle with the position of that central actor, because it's a very specific spot. You could tell that this sort of doesn't hit the mirror. So I might take that actor, hold shift, and just sort of scooch him a little bit. And you could do this with the control wheel just to try to line these guys up, but you need 50, so you could do this here. You could change it on the tile too, so I could see that even that is a little off. So I'm going to try to do this. Okay, the coordinates I'm going to use, just because I'm sick of fiddling with it, is 1867, 24, 90. So feel free to mess with it more. But you can use those. And then let me just get right before here. Let's go back to boom, lights up. Sometimes the animations don't work. So if that were the case, you can just, oops, I went too fast. Well, it worked that time. But you can just manually click the door, but the light has to be on. So keeping that in mind. So now, it seems to be working. I encourage you to go through an entire cycle with this before playing a game, just because the animations can be finicky. You can see this one didn't run despite it should. There we go. So you could do something like that. But I've noticed that when messing with this map, that after I go through once, they sort of smoothed out for whatever reason. The last thing that we might want to do is, I mean, you can add sounds and add your monsters as they come out. You know, create some sort of tension with this. We light this one up. Let's see if the door opens. It's going to choose not to. If I try to light that mirror up manually, the door opened. Now, just to show you an example of how these matte logic can be a little finicky sometimes. That should close, which is great. That button works. We hit it. And let's see if this time it gets operating correctly. Oh, it looked like it tried to open. So your mileage may vary on the animated doors. Oh, see, that one tried as well. But again, if you just sort of go through them, you might be surprised, or you might feel frustrated. Oh, that one worked that time. Closes. That one worked that time. So you see what I mean. Okay, last thing you want to make sure is that this guy is invisible. That will not affect anything else. We'll move him back to his central position, and we are all set. I hope this video was helpful. Oh, so I didn't actually use the trigger for that. So if you move it manually, don't expect things to work. So I could trigger it from here. This one's not a toggle, so this is your main button if you just need to close some doors, turn off some lights. You could add some logic wherever you want. If you wanted this big box to go away, you can make it move, or you can make it go invisible, and then you got your central area here. You could add some lights and fire and make it a little bit more epic. But that is the temple light puzzle. Enjoy, stream it, tag it, have fun.